Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the CPC Speaks podcast. Today I have Ayla Fleming here, and she runs CPC Supported Employment Program. And we wanted to talk not just about supported employment, but start out by talking about how caring for the whole person is so important. At CPC, we're known so much just to do mental health and substance use treatment, but really there's so much more to recovery than just treatment, than just mental health and substance use, which are huge, but brought Ayla here to talk about an important aspect of that. And before we get into it, I know Ayla is not a bragger about herself, but tell us, you have a really diverse range of experiences. Why don't you talk a little bit about yourself and your experiences? Throw in some of those world travel things. I love those stories.
Sure. Okay, so I did AmeriCorps for a year, so I did wildfire fighting for a year. After I went to college, and then after that I went to Bangladesh for a year, taught at a university, helped with teaching English and biology, because that's my background. Thought about medical school, decided I didn't want to do that. I really liked working with people, so then I decided to do social work, worked with youth that were at shelters, youth that were in foster care, did job coaching then. So I've kind of been doing similar things to job coaching for the past year, but counseling as a bachelor's level, and then went and got my master's. So that's kind of my story, and then got into mental health, which has kind of caught me.
And that's the short version. Really, it's a really great story. Like this, interesting. You've been so many places. So when it comes to mental health and substance use, how important is employment?
So it's extremely important. I mean, yes, we're going to treat mental health symptoms, help people to cope, things like that. That's part of treatment, but also having hobbies, integrating into your community, deepening connections with your family, your supports, your neighbors, your friends, really being part of that community, and work is part of that community. So it's definitely key.
When you help people get employed, do you see that impact their mental health and their substance use recovery? I mean, do you see like the employment actually like bolster it and strengthen their recovery?
For sure. Everybody needs a daily activity. Everybody needs something that they can feel proud of, feel that sense of self-efficacy. So work has been a huge part of that for a lot of our clients. When you have something that you have to get up for every day, you have people counting on you. That's why these things are so important. And then, you're using a skill that you're contributing something that maybe other people didn't know about you. You're being praised for that. You're learning new skills. These are things that everybody wants to do. They want to learn and they want to grow. And so it's a fundamental part of being human. So it's really important.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I've even said this before, I feel like there's almost a spiritual aspect to being employed, because when you value your employment, it's like that's about part of who you are. You're at a cocktail party or whatever, who are you, what do you do, whatever job. You could be working at, managing a 7-Eleven or a brain surgeon, but you talk about whatever it is, with a passion, and it kind of defines who you are. And there is like just in my working with in mental health and substance use, when someone has a job that they feel valued and it feels like they're like making progress, it's valuable experience. So talk a little bit about what the CPC Supported Employment Program actually does.
Absolutely. So supported employment, it's an evidence-based practice. So basically what that means is there's research to show that if people are employed and they have specialized coaching around employment, then outcomes will be better. So that means less hospitalizations, less mental health decompensations, whatever that is. I know these are technical terms, but basically you're going to do better, you're going to feel better, your relationships will be better, your functioning overall will be better, confidence, assertiveness. So there's research, to back that up. So what we do is people that would like a job coach, I would do an intake with them, and then we would get all of their background information. I specifically focus on mental health and coping skills, and making sure that we have a full picture of the things they might need in terms of resume development, experiences that they do have in working, education, and then where they want to go. And it's a very person-centered service. That means we're going to be working on what the client wants, not just a cookie cutter thing. So, you know, we get to know our clients well, and it's a really, you know, I hope for most people, it seems to be a pretty enjoyable experience. You have that support. So maybe in the beginning, you know, things are going well, but then you hit a roadblock with the type of job you want to get, or something happens at work and you don't really know how to handle it. Gaps on your resume, you're not really sure how to explain it. Those are all things we talk about on a daily basis with our clients.
Yeah, so that's great. You point out that research shows that, and it makes sense, that employment improves outcomes for other parts of life, mental health, and also you guys are person-centered. And I know you and your team you guys are so person-centered. You guys really put the clients first. And I mean, in all my, whenever I'm working with someone, I push the supported employment program because it's such a great adjunct. But people can do, they don't have to be in treatment as well. They can just do supported employment. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's not a requirement.
You know, we get
at
some
all.
referrals from the probation department and stuff, you know.
Mhm.
You know. Great.
Absolutely.
Somebody make a referral. We're going to just, they call our access number.
So we have a form. It's a very short form. It's just 2 pages. If they're internal, like an internal referral from another CPC program, we have the system I can look up. But if they're from outside of CPC, then I just ask them to attach like a biopsychosocial, a psychiatric evaluation, that kind of paperwork. And that's it. And then I would reach out to the client to schedule a meeting with them. And then we, as long as the client's okay with it, we would coordinate with the other providers as well. As things come up, if anything comes up that the client wants us to address. And yeah, so we're just, like you said, we're an adjunct program that's part of the treatment team.
Awesome. What a great part of the team you guys have been, man. It's been having supported employment again. I've seen it firsthand. So I really want to thank you, Ayla. I'll include the information on how to make a referral, and in case someone might watch this on their own and say, hey, that sounds like an interesting something that they want as well. So thanks so much for your time, and keep up the great work with such an awesome program, helping so many people.
Thank you for having us. And so kudos also to Mike, Dottie, Joe, and Megan. They're doing an amazing job. So there's
Great. Yeah, you got a fantastic team. Absolutely. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.